Hi folks, today is August 18 and tomorrow on August 19, Sigma will announce two new lenses for sure, the 12mm 1.4 APS-C lens for all different mounts and the 200mm 2.0 full-frame autofocus lens for the Sony E and Leica L-mount only. And this is the lens I want to talk about today because I have the full info about the lens, so more images, size comparisons, pricing info and so forth. So if you are interested in this lens, this is a very niche lens, expensive lens, but very cool lens that was missing in the E-mount range forever, and Sony never did it, so I'm happy it's coming, and we're getting also a more cheaper version from Laowa in a couple of weeks, 200mm 2.0 for E-mount, and also different mounts, Nikon Z, Canon F, and also Fuji X-mount support, not Leica L-mount as it sounds, hopefully this will change. But this 200mm lens will be exciting, and if you are going to pre-order it, I will now add in my description box below this video all the pre-order links to Amazon, Birch, Photo, Adorama, European stores like Photo Airhut, Vex, UK and so forth. If you use those links to pre-order the lens, I will get a small commission. Those are affiliated links, you don't pay a cent more. That's a nice way to support me. So I leaked this lens as first. I told you about this lens already a month ago. So if you want to reward me for the work I did, I would appreciate if you pre-order the lens. I think it's going to be a cool lens if you really want it. So let's kick off with a couple of images that I selected from a ton of images you can see on sonyrumors.com and lrumors.com. This first image shows the lens mounted on a Sony A1 II. Now, of course, keep in mind that the hood is taking a lot of space here, so the lens is quite a bit shorter than you see on this image. You can see here an image of the lens without the hood. This is a leaked image we got, so there is no image yet of the lens without the hood mounted on the Sony camera. And what's really interesting is this next image that shows the lens mounted on a Nikon Zf. You can see the image here. This is an official image, press image from Sigma, and this really makes me think that Sigma wants Nikon Z mount camera owners to buy this lens and use it with an adapter on their camera. You can use a Sony E to Nikon Z autofocus adapter, works very well. So also Nikon Z mount shooters will be happy to know that they can buy this lens. If they wonder why it's not coming as native Z mount option, that's because Nikon, like Canon, is restricting some third-party manufacturers to make full-frame lenses for their system. So you have to push on Canon and Nikon to change this policy. Then you will also get nice Sigma lenses for Canon RF mount and Nikon Z mount. That would be great. But every company has some weird things, as we know. Sony, for example, is limiting the speed in AFC to 15 frames per second when you use those Sigma telephoto lenses, and any other third-party manufacturer lens, you don't get the full speed. And that's something, for example, that I keep requesting Sony to change. So let's move on to the next images. Here you see a size comparison between the Sigma 200mm 2.0 and the Sony 300mm GM. I drew a line where more or less the Sigma lens ends without the hood, so this is quite a bit shorter compared to the 300mm GM. Here is a comparison with the very famous classic Canon 200mm 2.0 EF mount lens, a very old lens but a very epic lens, and as you can see the size is about the same, so definitely the Sigma will be more modern and I think optically very superior to the old Canon lens. Here you see another comparison between, on the very left, 300-600mm Sigma lens. Then we move on to the new 200mm 2.0. Then there is the 150-600 and the 500mm lens. So the 200mm 2.0 will be a big lens, but still manageable if you compare it with other telephoto lenses. It's still okay. The weight info I got about this lens is that the weight is 1,850 grams without the collar and without the hood. Take off everything that's under 2 kilos. By comparison, the Laowa that will be announced in a couple of weeks will weigh around 1,600 grams, but obviously I suspect the Sigma is going to be superior in terms of autofocus performance and optical design, so a bit more complex design to give you probably a better bokeh, better sharpness and so forth. That's my guess that I have, but I think it's a good guess. There are also first images shot with the new lens. You can see them here. Those are low resolution images, so you don't really learn a lot from them, but the images definitely look nice and clean, and the bokeh looks okay from here. Of course, we still have to do proper testing to see how good it works. On sonyrumors.com and lrumors.com you can see a couple of more images and also the full press text that leaked. It also has 17 elements in 13 groups, including FLD and SLD lenses. It has optical stabilization built in the lens, so that's additional to the in-body stabilization of Sony E and Leica L-mount cameras, so the lens really will work super fine also if you shoot handheld. And it also has super fast autofocus. Of course, that's what Sigma says, but according to one source that tested the lens, he told me autofocus indeed is very fast. And one more addition, the weight of the lens is 1850 grams, which might sound a lot to some for a 200mm 2.0 lens. I think it's okay, but also the weight is more towards the mount of the camera, so it's easy to handheld it. So it's not towards the end of the tele lens, of the 200mm lens, so you can still use it handheld for quite some long time. So other info, it's weather sealed, of course, 105mm filter size, and the pricing, drum rolling, in euro is 3,499 euro. 2,499 would have been very great, but it sounds like the pricing is 3,499. That's an info going around now on the web. I'm not 100% sure about it. That's including all the taxes, so VAT and everything. So it's going to be an expensive lens, also for Sigma standard. I was hoping for something like 2,999, but it's 3,499. Don't have the dollar pricing. Yeah, of course, dollar pricing usually prior to the tariffs, dollar pricing would have been something like $3,100, $3,200. Now probably it's going to be around $3,500, if not a tiny bit more, but that's again guessing on my side. We'll see tomorrow. Again, click on the links in the description box to BH Photo, Adorama, Amazon, and then you will see all the info with the final pricing and so forth. Okay, I think this is a great lens, but now let's talk about the other Sigma lenses. So far I only got confirmation about the 12mm and 200mm lens. All the sources told me that also the 35 1.2 second generation, the 2200mm travel zoom lens, and also the bokeh king, the future bokeh king, the 135 1.4 from Sigma are coming. We don't know if tomorrow Sigma will make a teaser for the launch of those future lenses, development announcement, or they will say nothing and the announcement will happen then in September, max October. So but definitely all those lenses are coming for sure, because all the same sources that send all the right material about the 200mm lens told me about those other lenses. Let me know in the comment system if you, for that price, 3,499 euro, probably also dollars, you will consider to buy this lens. That's really it. Again, if you like this video, the video because this helps on the YouTube algorithm, and also of course subscribe to not miss any of the upcoming leaks and rumors, because like I told you, next week there will be Hasselblad announcement. I leaked already everything about this, but then there will be one more Sigma announcement in September. Sony will have an announcement. I got finally some update about the Sony E-mount time frame, about that in another video. There's also 100mm macro, Nikon announcement, Canon announcement. Seems like OM Digital will have an announcement, probably lens, but maybe there's something more. And obviously also Panasonic, we are expecting an announcement still in the autumn, hot one, maybe S1H2, or maybe something else. I would love to get S9 with integrated viewfinder. Then I would really buy into the L-mount system for sure, because I like some of the stuff they're doing. But yeah, but that's another chapter. Okay, folks, that's it for today. See you very soon.